Hello everyone, this is BCS Buster. Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy 13-2. Well, last time we went through a couple of paradox endings, one in which we ended up learning about what Vanille is really up to, and one where we ended up turning into robots, so that was really not a lot of fun. Okay, so for today's paradox ending, we're going to continue on what we've been doing before. Now, if you go to Academia 400, let's see, I believe it's 400XXAF, we can actually trigger a paradox ending here. So, let's see, what we want to do is head this way. Let's go ahead and make sure our paradox, let's go ahead and make sure the paradox scope is on. Yes, very good. And let's close the gate here in Academia 4XXAF. Close that off there. And let's remind ourselves what has been happening up to the game at this point.
Sarah and Noel have changed the future. The proto-fal'Cie that threatened Academia is no more, and in the sky floats the 13th Ark. The people have built a society with their own hands, using technology of their own devising. However, the day when Cocoon is prophesied to fall is drawing closer. The Academy has put into motion an ambitious project to avert the catastrophe.
Oh yeah, you remember that. So they begin to plan to launch a new arc there to try and stop Cocoon from crashing into Grand Pulse. So yeah, well, we get to revisit this part of the story. So like I said, I like doing these paradox endings because it gives us a chance to revisit the story now that we've seen it all the way through. And me especially, now that I've completed Lightning Returns, I can really see how everything ties together, or if everything does tie together, or if the game designers just did everything by fluke and kind of just made things up as it went, as the game goes on, which, I guess tomato, I suppose. Maybe not really. I don't know. I'm just kind of spouting off of the mouth right now, BCS Universe. Alright. Let's see if we'll get to Academia. Yeah, it's taking us a long way to get there. There we go. Okay, and we've seen all this. Let's go ahead and skip this. We know that the city looks good. And we know that we need to go and... Why is it taking so long for it to load? Come on, system. Yeah.
After all said and done, you handled the proto-fal'Cie pretty well. What did you do to it anyway?
I sort of have an idea of what happened, but I can't really explain it. It was more of a hunch, really.
A hunch. Well, we won, and that's what matters, I guess.
Indeed. Yeah, we kicked the proto-fal'Cie's ass, and then they turned us into robots. Not really approve of that, but oh well. Alright, let's jump down. Whee! Yeah, so for this paradox ending, all we want to do is just make our way up here to the gate.
Should I relocate when I can?
We want to talk to Hope and Alyssa. You may recall are here. All right. Yeah, we're gonna go find Hope.
I see.
Defining classifications for paradox creatures is an exercise in...
His role in Lightning Returns is interesting. I feel, you see, I kind of want to talk about the game, but I can't really do it because I don't want to give any spoilers. For those of you that haven't played this game, or haven't played that game. All right. And there's Hope, so let's talk to him.
Hope told us that he invented a machine called a time capsule. That's how they got here. Back in 13AF, Hope devised a plan to build an artificial fal'Cie. It was called the Proto-fal'Cie Project. He wanted to use the new technology to re-levitate Cocoon. But then one day, Hope saw a certain prophecy in the Oracle Drive.
So I activated the Oracle Drive and watched the prophecy. I saw you fighting the proto-fal'Cie, and I saw you screaming out at me. Your machines are driving me nuts!
Well, I was getting pretty ticked off by that point.
Well, exactly. So we were forced to reevaluate the project, and eventually abandon it.
Okay, you saw Sarah getting mad at you, so you canceled your project, and then poof, the proto-fal'C disappeared. Is that about right? We didn't destroy it so much as it never existed in the first place.
We were following the wrong path to the future. If the proto-fal'C had managed to get control of Cocoon, it would have made itself the second Eden, and we'd be back where we began.
Yeah. It would have been just like how it was on the old Cocoon.
We realized we couldn't let that happen. We had to levitate Cocoon using only human technology.
Right. Not to mention that if you had kept with the original plan, your machines would have killed you.
Really? Then we owe you our lives. Thank you.
Funny, you lose your temper and the whole future changes.
All right. So let's talk to Alyssa.
So, I bet you're dying to know how we came to the future, huh?
Kinda.
You've heard about the time capsule we used? It's a device that slows down time only for its occupants. The effect is caused by the creation of a powerful gravitational field and, well, essentially we just slept as the outside world flashed forward into the future.
This capsule of yours, it can't take you back, can it?
Unfortunately not. And considering it broke down after a single use, I doubt it'll prove to be a popular method of time travel.
You risked your own life for the sake of Cocoon.
Oh, the director was there with me. Hey, Sarah. After coming to the future myself, I think I understand how you must feel. The Academy has welcomed us with open arms, and we can research as we always have, but sometimes I get these terrible anxiety attacks.
Alyssa,
Please, Sarah, you have to let me apologize for the way I treated you in the past. Maybe you can't forgive me for that, but I hope as fellow time travelers, we can face the future on friendly terms.
All right. So we're all buddy-buddy again. But Alyssa's still not done with her yet.
The Academy has made progress on its investigation into the 13th Arc. At this stage, there is good news and there is bad news.
Let's hear the good news first.
We've discovered that the Arc's reactor is powered by an ore cluster, known as the Graviton Core. By collecting these, there's a possibility that the new Cocoon will be up in the sky in no time.
that is good news.
Yeah, okay. So now you gotta hit us with the bad news.
Each ore cluster provides only a certain amount of power. The 13th Arc, for example, requires a single graviton core. We're going to need multiple cores that we can't seem to find.
Need a hand with the search?
If there's one thing we're good at, it's looking for weird objects.
We could use the help. With you two on the case, we'll have those cores in no time.
I'll put together some data on Graviton cores. Check in with the Academy front desk.
All right. Now, fortunately, we found all the graviton cores. Now, this is where it starts to get tricky, because now we need to give all the cores away,
Believe it! You found a
and we want to skip all these because basically we just want to give her the cores, and we know what happens there. Now, you need to be very careful here,
This must have been tough to find.
because eventually we're going to get a dialogue here. I believe it's after the 5th one. Oh, let me double check that. Make sure my notes are right here. Yeah. Okay. So we need to be very careful here.
Oh, thanks to you two.
So there's 3.
Did I tell you? The director is inventing a new device.
The Academy has been making progress on the development of a paradox weapon. A very powerful weapon that feeds on time-distorting energies.
Using a paradox against itself, huh?
Exactly. There's a possibility we may come up against the man who appears in the Oracle Drive recordings. The war has already begun, and we're fighting to protect the future itself.
A battle to the end against Caius.
But, Director, didn't you say you were missing a certain material?
A chaos crystal. It's a solidified chunk of paradox energy, but according to the data, it doesn't exist in this time period.
Okay, we'll skip this because we know about the Chaos Crystal and we've already done that. But we're not quite done with Alyssa yet, so let's talk to her. Yes, here's the fourth one.
Brought us another cluster?
Okay, now once you've handed over the fourth cluster, when you hand over the fifth one, do not skip the scene. And make sure that the paradox scope is active.
Sarah, did you really do it?
We had. We had collected all the ore clusters Hope needed to levitate his new cocoon. I don't think I'd ever seen Hope look so happy and excited. But this was just the beginning. It would take a century to complete the new cocoon. And if the old cocoon were to fall before it could be finished, well...
I know we can do it.
He's right, you know. Have you seen that broken gate in the town? Well, it's all fixed and working normally.
We collected the ore crystals, so the future has changed, Kupo.
Yes, I think so. And look what I found. It was lying next to the gate.
Aha! Now, if you have the paradox scope on, and you get offered the artifact, you can have the choice to say no. Do not take the artifact, and if we do so, the paradox ending will kick in. Now watch this. Maybe.
We have to hurry. Are we gonna make it?
Better!
Director,
What's going on?
Don't move!
you're under
I'll
arrest.
take this.
Give that back!
Did I hear someone call for a hero? I think I did.
No!
Thank you. Give it up, sweetheart. We're on to you. We know everything. Like the fact that this artifact is booby-trapped. We also know that someone gave this to you. Someone like Caius.
So what if he did?
Snow, how did you...
Hope? Caius is on the move and up to no good. The past and the future are looking pretty bleak. Give me a hand, Sarah.
You can't just drop a bomb like that and take off. You always do what you want, even if it means leaving people behind. You haven't changed at all.
Okay, sorry. Or at least I'm consistent, right?
Snow gave us some valuable information. Alyssa was working with Caius of all people. If we had tried to use the artifact, Noel and I would have fallen right into some kind of trap. Caius was the one that was trying to change the events of the past. Snow's constantly on the move. There are Caiuses in the past, present, and future, and they all have to be stopped.
That Caius, I think he's serious. He means business. I try to fix the past and he just changes it back to how he wants it again. Like nothing ever happened. Where's Lightning in all of this? She's on the job, with Saz and Dodge.
What can I do?
Stay alive. Listen, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but you're going to be assassinated exactly 3 days from now.
What?
Me?
Without you, we might as well forget about having any kind of future. Without hope, we're done for. So it's important that you do everything in your power to protect yourself.
Right.
Noel, you're on guard duty.
And what are you gonna do?
I'm going to the future to greet Caius with my fist. But before all the fun happens, I got 13 different eras to visit. There are a bunch of crystals with my name on them.
13 different eras. Not one to sit still, huh?
Sarah, come with me, okay?
Okay.
How come you guys get to do all the fun stuff?
I'll fill you in on what you missed when we get back. So stay safe and stay alive.
Yeah.
There's no stopping you, is there? Go on then.
We're going there on this!
Come on, you'll love it!
And this is how I set off on an exciting and scary adventure with my hero, Snow. No one can predict how our time-traveling journey will come to an end. But the past, present, and future are all connected. And until time stands still, The future will always bring us a new adventure.
Yeah, so if you remember earlier in the game, right before you go into that gate, you get a look from Alyssa, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna mess this thing up. And then if you do that, this happens. And you get sent to the part with Caius, and then then Caius go ahead and does what he does and kills Sarah and Noel and all that good stuff. So let's check out The Future is Hope. Yeah, see, so Snow looked at an Oracle drive of when we used the artifact that was booby-trapped and they get sent to the Void Beyond. And there you go. So there's that one. All right. So now let's go ahead and open up this gate here and restore everything to how it was. All right. And now we're done with our business in Academia 4 XXAF. Or are we?